Express each quotient as a mixed number. We have 15 over 4. 4 fits into 15 3 times because 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 more makes 15. 20 fits into 25 one time. 1 times 20 is 20. Plus 5 more would make 25. This can also be reduced by 5. 5 goes into 5 once and into 24 times. I'm okay with you leaving it at this answer, but you may also change it to this. Please complete the remaining 4 problems. 4 sixth-grade teachers get a shipment of new pencils to share equally. There are 10 packs of pencils in each box and 10 pencils in each pack. What is the total number of pencils? If there are 10 packs with 10 pencils in each box, 10 times 10 is 100. These all have 10 in them. And then we have a few extra. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 500, 10, 20, 30, 530, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 536 pencils. So we're going to write that in here. Enter an expression that represents the number of pencils each teacher receives. If there are 4 teachers, we need to split 536 into 4 parts. We could also write 536 divided by 4. Give pencils to the 4 teachers so that each teacher receives an equal number of pencils. So we're going to give a box to teacher A, teacher B, teacher C, and teacher D. I don't have 4 more boxes, so I'm going to break this up into packs. Now I can give a pack to teacher A, pack to teacher B, pack to teacher C, and D. I still have more than 4, so I can send them all another pack. You can see they're changing down here to 2s. And let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I can give them a third pack. But this one needs to be split up into just pencils. So we're going to send it over here. I'm going to give 1 to each teacher. Then it looks like I can give another 1 to each teacher. And one more. So each teacher has 134. So a box has 100. 3 packs, which each have 10. And 4 pencils. So 134. Enter a division sentence and a multiplication sentence that describe each situation. So 536 divided by 4 is 134. Or 134 times 4 is 536 pencils altogether. And we need to explain. The first one is showing the total pencils split amongst the 4 teachers. The second one shows how much each teacher got multiplied by the 4 teachers to give us the total number of pencils. So here is what we displayed. 1 box, 3 packs, and 4 pencils. But another student may have used this method. They still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 packs. And each one has 10 pencils, so 13 tens is 130 plus the 4 extra. So it's just a different strategy. They decided to break down all of their boxes into packs and split the packs up instead of sending a full box to each teacher. Let's look at this with numbers instead of pictures. Complete each row of the table to show the total number of pencils the teachers receive. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 hundreds. 30, 60, 90, 120, 4, 8, 12, 16. Oops. And if we combine all of that, it ends up that we used all 536 pencils. Suppose you have 788 pencils and 4 teachers. Estimate the number of pencils each teacher receives. Explain. We are approximating. So 788 is about 800. Let's see if we have that little approximation symbol. There we go. It's about 800. And 800 split into 4 parts would be approximately 200 pencils per teacher. Now we know it's not quite 200 because it wasn't 800 pencils altogether. So it's going to be slightly less than 200 pencils per teacher. Do you think that the actual number of pencils each teacher receives is greater than or less than your estimate? We said that it would be less than our estimate because there are fewer than 800 pencils. There are 788 pencils. Give pencils to the 4 teachers so that each teacher receives an equal number of pencils. Enter the number of pencils to give to each teacher. Then enter the total number of pencils the teacher receives. So we know that it's going to be less than 200 per teacher. So we're going to give them 100 to start. And our total here would be 400. Now I have 388 left. 388 is close to 400. 400 split into 4 would be 100, but we can't quite get that. So let's see, maybe we should do 80. Under approximating. So this would be 80, 160, 240, 320. So now I have 68 pencils left. Well, 60 split into 4 parts is about 15. 15 plus 15 is 30, plus 15 is 45, plus 15 is 60. Now I have 8 left. So 8 split into 4 groups is 2. The pencils are distributed. So now we have to figure out how much we gave to each person. We had 100 plus 80 is 180 plus 15 is 195 plus 2 more would make 197. How would the number of pencils each teacher receive change if 788 pencils are given to 3 teachers instead of 4 teachers? Well, if we split 788 into 3 parts instead of 4, each teacher would get more pencils. 75 is divisible by 3. 75 split into 3 would be 25, so they would get over 250 pencils. If we split 788 into 5 parts instead of 4 parts, each teacher would get less than 197 pencils. All right, so this time there are 788 pencils and we're giving them to 5 teachers, so each teacher receives an equal number of pencils. Enter the number of pencils to give to each teacher. Then enter the total number of pencils each teacher receives. Now I'm noticing a problem already. Multiples of 5 end in a 5 or a 0, so this is not going to divide evenly or equally like it did in the other ones. We're either going to have some leftovers or we're going to have to break some pencils apart. So let's approximate again. This is around 800. If I split 800 into 5 sections, it's going to fit around 160 times. But we have less than 800, so it's going to be less than 160. But it should still be at least 100. Oops. Or a total of 500 this time because we have 5 teachers. Now, 250 we could split into 5 parts. 25 split into 5 parts is 5, so this could be around 50 pencils. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Excuse me. 38. Well, 35 is close to 38, and 35 is 5 times 7. I have 3 pencils to share amongst 5 teachers. So I can break them up into 3/5. I don't know if breaking up a pencil is what they really want to do. Yeah, see, it says there's an error there. So here I have 3 pencils left, and I need to split them into 5 parts. So if I split up each pencil into 5 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I can put one section into each of those and distribute them out until I get 3 pieces into each of those 5 sections. So 157 and 3/5. I did 157, and then I have 3/5 of a pencil left. So we're going to use a similar method to divide 946 by 8. Instead of 5 boxes, we're going to have 8. So we're going to first start out by giving them 100. If we do that, if we do that 100 8 times, is 800. So I have 946 minus 800 leaves us with 146. Now I'm going to split that up into 8 parts again. I know 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16, which is too high for 14. So we're going to give them all 10s. Eight sets of 10 is 80. 6 minus 0 is 6. 14 minus 8 is 6. Now let's give them all. Let's see, 8 times 8 is 64. Which leaves us with 2. But 2 is supposed to be split into 8 sections. So I have right now 100, 110, 118, and 2 split into 8 parts. 118 and 2/8. 2/8 could be reduced to 1/4. But this is how we are dividing when we have pieces left over. Now we're going to look at 885 divided by 7. But instead of trying to write down all of the pieces 8 times, let's look at a model that only uses it once. So here's a little bit of a different model for partial quotients. We know that each one can get a group of 100. 7 100s is 700. That leaves us with 185. I'm looking at this 18 here. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 3 is 21. So we need 2, but we're going to use 20 because it's not 18, it's actually 185. 7 sets of 20 is 140. Okay, now we're looking at 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42, so that's pretty close. That would leave us with 3. Well, that's not going to fit in there another whole amount of times. So let's combine these here. 126 plus the 3 out of the 7. What would happen if the divisor was smaller than 7, like if it was a 5? Would we get more than 126 and 3/7 or fewer? If we make our divisor smaller, we should get more than 126. What if instead of 5, we made our divisor something like 15. If we split it into 15 parts, the amount in each section is going to be smaller, or less than 126 and 3/7. Here we see 885 divided by 15. Here I have two approximations. This is about 900 and 15 is about 20. They can reduce it by 10. 90 split into two parts is 45. You could also approximate this as 900 and leave it as 15. And 900 split into 15 parts is 60. So we know that our answer should be pretty close to 60 because 885 is pretty close to 900. So somewhere around these two approximations. We're going to divide 885 by 15. Let's start with 50. 50 15s. Well, 5 15s would be, let's see, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. This is 750. Okay. Then 15, it can't fit in there 10 times, but it could fit in there 9 times. So 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120, 135. This time we don't have any parts left over. So if we combine 50 and 9, that gives us 59. For number 4, it says consider 3,184 divided by 24. Estimate the quotient and justify your estimate. So 3,184, that's pretty close to 3,000. And 24 is close to 20. We could change this by dividing out a 10 into 302. 300 divided by 2 is approximately 150. We're justifying over here. We're saying that those are approximately those values. Now we have 3,184 divided by 24. 24 can fit into 3,184 100 times. We'll have to regroup here. 11 minus 4 is 7. If I count up by 24s, it'll be 24, 48, 72. So I'm going to fit 30 of them in there. 30 240s would be, or sorry, 224s would be 720. Okay, 24, 48, that's 2 of them. Regroup. 14 minus 8 is 6. And 5 minus 4 is 1. But that's not going to fit in an entire time. So we're going to have to create a fractional piece that's left over. So right here I have 132 and 16/24. We can reduce this. 16 and 24 both have an 8 in common. 8 fits into 16 2 times and into 24 3 times. So 132 is pretty close to 150, but if we change our values here to be closer to the values in the original problem, our estimate would have been a better approximation. Please make sure your warm-up is finished and your workbook is filled in for this lesson.